comedy show with a rotating cast of comedians, actors, sports figures, and famous voices reading autobiographies on stage. I wish I had thought of this.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great show.
Now lending his voice to the production is a comedy legend who has spent decades behind some of television's biggest award shows, funniest stars, and yes, the Hollywood Squares.
Yep, he famously sat next to his close friend Whoopi Goldberg during the reboot in 1990s. Please welcome Bruce Vilanch.
Hello, darling.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you. I tell everybody I was just to the left of Whoopi, if that's possible.
She's pretty there. She's pretty.
Yeah, she's pretty out there.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
exactly.
What was that like? I love
Oh, it was hysterical because we do 5 shows in a day. We come in the morning, and we do a week in a day, and then we do 3, and then there'd be lunch, and there was wine, and then the Thursday and Friday shows were a lot looser.
Yes, I imagine.
The best part of it was if somebody came in and they were like in a foul mood or didn't look, or that happened very Roseanne. They would come in, and there were 8 other people going, girl,
get over it.
snap out of it.
Yeah.
So
More wine.
It was fun. Yeah, more wine.
Yeah.
Exactly right. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun hanging out.
I read your history. I read your biography, and it's incredible because it seems like you met a lot of really wonderful people, and they immediately asked you to write for them.
Yeah, people are desperate. What can I tell you? When they start out, comedians, when they start out, they have a lot of time. Nobody wants them, and they write. And then they happen, and suddenly they're in what Joni Mitchell called the star-making machinery. And they don't have the time to write, and they begin. That's when they take on collaborators.
Yeah.
So I was lucky that way. But I at the beginning, I found a few who were just starting, like Bette Midler and Billy Crystal, Robin Williams. They were just at the beginning of their careers, and so I kind of said, yeah, you hooked me, your star to my wagon to your star,
Amazing.
whatever it was.
And you don't have to name names. Was there anyone who you were like, oh God, I can't do this?
Yeah.
Actually there weren't. I mean, because I knew ahead of time that I wouldn't do it. Some of them were, more difficult than others, and some of them, when they're going through bad patches in their life, the last thing they want to do is work.
Right. I have no idea what it's like next to this one.
I can just imagine.
Perpetual bad patch.
You're literally in his shadow.
Literally in his shadow. Let's talk about celebrity autobiography.
This
is, you don't keep a straight face.
It's hard to, I'm doing Barbra Streisand, so it's very difficult. But it's Barbra Streisand talking about foods that she likes.
Oh, nice.
And she had her biography is 1,000 pages long.
Is that all?
And I've only gotten to page 950, and she's just graduated high school. But we know everything she ate and everything she wore, and the stains it left on everything she wore. Oh, yeah. It's a very intimate biography.
Valuable
so there are
information.
lots of funny stuff to pull from.
Do you get to choose which biography you do?
Well, you can say I don't want to do that, but they're pretty accurate. I mean, they gave me Beyonce, which was irresistible. They tend to give me a lot of women because it's strange to hear these women speaking in my voice.
Yes.
So that's kind of fun. And we all get to read poems by Suzanne Summers, who was a great friend of mine and wrote these weird poems.
Like haikus or like
they're not kind of haikus, they're just like off-the-cuff expressions of what she's feeling at that actual moment.
Great.
They all take left turns at the end, so it's a lot of fun.
Which autobiography did you read last night?
Barbara.
You got through,
but it's a mashup. It's Barbara, Celine, Cher, and Dolly all talking together at the same time.
That's a dinner table right there.
Excerpts from each of them, and they juxtapose them, so it's really funny.
I'd be surprised you're not doing a biography of somebody who you've written for, and then you can just like debunk all the stories. And be
well,
like,
I have written for Cher, but I'm not writing for. I mean, I wrote for her for Sonny and Cher, Sonny without Cher, Sonny and Cher. We're not married anymore, but we owe money, so we're back together again. I've done every variation of the Cher experience.
You sit in bed at night and just go, I can't believe this life that I've had, these experiences.
It's great. I said I wanted to do something. I didn't want to be tied to any one thing on any given day, and that's the way it's turned out. Every day is different.
It's so eclectic.
I love it.
I'm very lucky.
Given all the stuff that you've done, is there one either backstage when you wrote or on camera, on stage, that was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just did this moment?
I mean, so many. I did 25 Oscar shows that I officially wrote, and then a bunch that I unofficially worked on. But being in the presence of greats like Kirk Douglas and Deborah Carr and all that. I mean, just being there, it's like, I thought, I can't believe this. You know, I was a kid in Paterson, New Jersey, watching the show, which would come on then at 10 o'clock at night. They'd wake me up, you know, and my mother would put me in a party hat, and we would watch the show because I was entranced by all of this stuff. And she said, this is what you're going to wind up doing someday. Wow. And I thought, go no. Yeah. It's exactly what happened.
In the
but
end.
it's wonderful when on those shows when you're backstage and things go wrong. And something happens and the host has to comment on it.
You know, have to adapt. You have to work
that
quick.
happened a bunch of times. Once with Steve Martin, when Michael Moore got an Oscar for a documentary, and he turned it into a speech about George Bush.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the stagehands began booing him, and everybody heard it. And then we went to commercial, and Steve came back out and said, "It's wonderful here at the Oscars. The stagehands are helping Michael Moore into the trunk of his car." So it was like. In the commercial time, we were all throwing jokes at each other about what it could be.
It's like live TV. It's like crazy.
It's like live TV, and I keep saying, you know, for the kind of thing I do, it's the Super Bowl.
That's amazing.
Because, you know, you don't want to fumble in the Super Bowl. They'll remember you forever.
For that one fumble.
Or, you know, Sally Field. They like me. They really like me. She finally monetized it 20 years later as a Visa commercial. But
Jack Palance doing push-ups.
But I mean, it was her big Oscar screw-up. You know, she embarrassed herself. But didn't matter.
Now it's just embraced.
That's right.
Just embrace it.
From the flying nun to
so
a brand deal with that. Exactly. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. And this book, published, comes out next week in paperback. How I Wrote the Worst TV Shows and Lived. The Star Wars Holiday Special, the Brady Bunch Variety Hour, the Paul Lynde Halloween Special. These are perennials that people see on YouTube.
My gosh.
And people your age ask me, how did that happen? Who said yes?
Read the book.
And have they paid their debt to society?
The failures are more exciting and more interesting than the successes,
the flops are always, you know. Nobody wants to know. Nobody wants to know about the ship that got there.
Right.
They want to know about the Titanic.
That's right.
It didn't get there.
Of course.
Iceberg straight ahead.
Bruce, thank you
so much.
Thank you
very much.
It Seemed Like a Bad Idea at the Time is out next Thursday. Paperback. You can see him through Sunday in Celebrity Autobiography at Broadway's
At the Schubert.
Yes. Go check this show out and get the book, seriously. Next up, New York.